I don't agree with you. A statement that sometimes breaks brotherhood. How to handle this situation, we will find shortly, so stay tuned. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves and the evils of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide, and whomsoever Allah leaves to go astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, who has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His servant and His messenger. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of your show, For the Sake of Allah. I am your host, Moutasem Hameedi. Today we have a very important subject in hand as well. Something that has to do with maintaining the relationship of brotherhood and enhancing it, improving it, despite our differences. So today, inshallah, we will talk about how to handle difference of opinion. People don't agree, people have different opinions, it's hard to get all the people to agree on one thing. So this is why it is important to know how to deal with differences of opinion. Brothers, we have today with us Brother Muhammad and Brother Abdul Rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
You understand the importance of this subject because it is one of the main reasons why the Muslims are living in a state of weakness today. The differences. Muslims they have split into different sects, and each one is declaring the other to be deviant or to be, some of them, they expel others out of Islam. So we want to know how to deal with this subject, with difference of opinion, how to handle that, and within that we maintain our brotherhood, the relationship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. Now, before we go into the reasons behind differences and how to handle that, I would like to just to have a glimpse on what is the effect and of our own experience on the issue of difference. Definitely you have come across people you are not in agreement with. How did you deal with that? How did you see that it affected the relationship or the brotherhood you had with them? Abdul Rahman, have you had some experience you would like to share with us about this?
Actually, I recall one of these days I was in the mosque in Canada, and I saw a brother. He was praying completely in a complete different way than most of us. So it kind of surprised me, but I didn't go up to him and attack him. I just said salam, and other brothers criticized, but I just left it like it is, because I believe, like the saying, united we stand, divided we fall. So when there's a lot of differences, we won't be united, and we need that nowadays.
Okay, so in your opinion, even if someone he has a different opinion, you should just leave him upon that difference. It's up to him. Do you agree with that, Muhammad?
Well, actually, most of us noticed that lots of Muslims follow the four scholars, Abu Hanifa and Shafi'i and Maliki and Ibn Hanbal. They have differences, but actually the Muslims, we don't have the knowledge to be in a situation to clarify the difference, because we're just like regular practicing Muslims.
Yeah.
So we have to like be an ease on each other. It's like Brother Abdul Rahman said, okay, you have a difference of an fiqh opinion or something like that. So just let it be, go on easily. If you have the knowledge, say it in a good way.
Okay, maybe if we take some example, maybe from the past, we see how the Prophet ﷺ or how the companions, because at the time of the Messenger ﷺ, there are no differences. He's the authority.
Yes.
You go back to him, everything is clarified. Do you recall any kind of disagreement or difference of opinion that happened among maybe the companions or the tabi'een or anything maybe we can drag benefit from that?
Well, maybe when the Muslims were going to Bani Qurayda, and the Prophet ﷺ told them to pray Asr in Bani Qurayda. Some Muslims prayed Asr on the way, and some Muslims waited till they reached there and prayed Asr there. So it was a difference of opinion, but it reached out that nothing happened. No misjudgment or argument happened a lot. It passed on easily. So that's
that was at the time when the battle of Al-Ahzab was over. You know, the trench that was around Medina, that battle where there was no fighting actually, but Allah caused the disbelievers to be destroyed by means of the wind and all that. So because the Jews betrayed the Muslims, they were supposed to cover the Muslims from one side, they betrayed that trust. So the Messenger ﷺ said to the companions, let no one of you pray Asr except when we reach Bani Qurayda. So the Muslims, some of them, they thought, okay, the Messenger ﷺ wanted us to hasten to Bani Qurayda, let's go now straight away to Bani Qurayda. Some of them thought, they said, no, we have to stick to what the Prophet ﷺ said. So when they reached Bani Qurayda, Asr time was over, it was Maghrib time. But yet still they haven't prayed, they didn't pray until they reached Bani Qurayda. So they had two understandings of that saying of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Messenger ﷺ did not object to any of them. So it was okay. So some difference of opinion is tolerable. You can take that and we can live by that, because, well, people, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا يَزَلُونَ مُخْتَلِفِينَ. Allah said about human beings, and they will not cease to be different. They will have to have differences of opinion. Except for those whom Allah has mercy upon. Now the scholars, they divide difference of opinion into two categories. The first one, that which is tolerable, because the text in the Quran and the Sunnah, it carries both meanings, may be interpreted this way or that way, and we know this difference of opinion because, for example, some scholars say after you make ruku' and you stand up from ruku', some of the scholars, they say you have to get your hands back and put them back on your chest. Some of them say, no, you have to let them down. So both opinions, they're based upon the same proof, but they are two different understandings. This kind of difference is acceptable. We can take it and tolerate it. It doesn't cause the brothers to have differences or to hate one another and have enmity amongst themselves because of that. But there is some kind of difference that we cannot take. For example, some people, they have false beliefs. Some people believe that, for example, this man, he has high rank, okay, and he deserves to be worshipped. A'udhu billah. We can't take that. Some people, they have other differences of opinion, like, for example, they deny some of the attributes and the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can't take that because they are. Some people say Ar-Rahman, for example, or some of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they don't accept that. They say, well, these are figures of speech. They don't refer to something real. We don't agree with these people. So this kind of difference is not we can't take that. We can't tolerate such a difference because it negates or it opposes the Quran and the Sunnah and the way of the companions, the early generations. If it opposes that, then we can't take it. But if it can be taken, it comes from different understanding, but it's still based upon the Quran and the Sunnah, and then it's acceptable according to the scholars of Islam. Alhamdulillah, then we take that.
I believe that that is mercy also. That is rahmah. Because people they have different kind of personalities, different kind of understandings.
As long
as it hasn't got to do with the Sunnah and
as long as it is based clearly upon the Quran and the Sunnah, and that text from the Quran and the Sunnah, well, it implies that meaning, we take it. But if it doesn't imply that, we bring a verse and we extract some kind of strange ruling from it, and it's not implied by the verse, we can't accept that. Because this is tampering with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, where does differences come from? Where does differences come from? Okay. What do you think?
Lack of knowledge.
One of the reasons for difference is lack of knowledge. For example, you ask someone about Okay, how should I behave in that way? For example, in al-mash al-khuffayn, wiping over the socks.
Yeah.
Okay, can I do that? Well, a person who has knowledge will tell you.
No.
A person who has knowledge
Who
will
has
tell you.
knowledge, sorry,
You can do that. What about someone who hasn't got knowledge?
He'll say no.
He would say no. If he remained silent, he would have saved us all the pains of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So it is ignorance. People who don't have knowledge, they bring a lot of difference and disagreement. And as one of the early or the righteous predecessors of this nation, of Islam, he said, if those who are ignorant, if they remain silent, they would have saved us all the pains of differences. Because
SubhanAllah.
most of the differences come from people who speak without knowledge.
Yeah.
They speak without knowledge. And a very statement that I remember from one of the scholars of Islam, he said that Islam, or the knowledge of the deen, is 3 handspans. 1, 2, 3. It's 3 levels. The one who enters the first level, he has this feeling of pomposity and arrogance. Or I know, I have some knowledge. I have some knowledge. It causes him kibr and arrogance. But when he reaches the second level, second handspan, he knows that he has still a long way ahead to learn more. He still needs more to learn. And when he reaches the third level, which is the highest level, he knows that he's still very ignorant.
That's a very
because
nice
the knowledge
comparison.
of Allah is very vast.
SubhanAllah.
Very vast.
MashaAllah.
So he said, don't be Abu Shibr, the father of the first handspan. Don't be from those in the first level and they claim to know everything.
Exactly.
So these are the people. So one of the main reasons is ignorance. Can you think of another reason why people have
Maybe
differences?
sometimes they still in touch with their own beliefs, race beliefs or tradition beliefs that has nothing to do with the Islamic
Yeah.
beliefs. So therefore it creates like stuff that they inherited from their grandparents or
Yeah.
from so it creates a combination between Islamic beliefs and the old beliefs that they had. So they
Yeah. So some people maintain some of what they had before Islam.
yeah.
Like someone, he was, for example, let's say a Sikh, or he was a Hindu, and he comes to Islam, he still keeps certain things from his
traditions,
religion or traditions, and he introduces that to Islam. That's another reason of difference.
Actually,
Can you think of something else?
about the knowledge also, some people like tend to read themselves, get books and start reading. Actually, this is like creates also misunderstanding,
Yeah.
because you have to read a book and a scholar has to explain it.
Very good.
You can't
Yeah.
understand certain matters in the basics of Islam with your own thinking just by reading.
Yeah, you need a teacher to clarify things for you.
Yes.
Because there are many things that you will find difficult to read and learn from books. You need someone to teach you. The same thing as we have with contemporary sciences. It's hard to achieve something by yourself, especially at the beginning. You need someone to teach you. The same thing applies to contemporary sciences. You need teachers to give you the basics. Then you can move on by yourself. So now, inshallah, we will deal more with the issue of differences, difference of opinion, how to handle that, and to protect our brotherhood from being destroyed by means of these differences, and how to recognize the differences that are acceptable and differences that are rejectable in Islam. Inshallah, through that we will learn how to increase the mutual love we have towards one another, and we'll try to implement that and benefit from it. We will have to stop for a few moments, and I say to our dear viewers, we'll come back shortly, so stay with us.
إذا دكت الأرض دكا.
Do you want to learn how to recite the Quran? Do you want to read Islamic books in Arabic? You may enroll in a small group.
العسل من السوق اشترى. نعم اشترى.
A private lesson.
من مثلها في فضلها.
من مثلها في فضلها.
Or at your own pace to fit your schedule.
هل أنت طالب في المعهد؟
Courses for sisters with female instructors. We're bringing you the latest software technology, professional instructors, and a state-of-the-art classroom to the comfort of your home. Enroll now in Huda Academy. Huda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. So we are dealing now with the issue of differences of opinion, and we said this is inevitable among human beings. And we stated the reasons behind differences, and this will help us understand why these things happen and how we can control them, so that we still keep our brotherhood and we keep the love that we have towards our brothers, and we avoid losing that brotherhood for the sake of a difference of opinion. So the first thing we said, lack of knowledge, as Muhammad said. Lack of knowledge causes differences of opinion. And when the people, he acquires knowledge in the wrong way, learns only from books, then it's inevitably he's going to have some ignorance in him. So we refer it back to the same point. Now, a second point is sometimes arrogance, kibr. Person sometimes is arrogant and he doesn't accept the truth, especially when it comes from someone who's inferior to him. Okay, so he doesn't really accept it. Well, this man is nothing. Why should I take that from him? I'll hold on to my opinion. And he doesn't take the truth. As the Prophet ﷺ described al-kibr or arrogance as بطر الحق وغمط الناس. The arrogance in Islam is rejecting the truth and looking down upon people. This is what kibr is. So it will cause more differences of opinion. I don't agree with you. Why? Because I'm superior. It's the mentality some people have. And sometimes it happened to some brothers, they were in the masjid and he was reciting the Quran. He held the mushaf in his left hand and he was reading. So a child, 5 years old, he came to me and he said, "Uncle, why don't you hold your mushaf in the right hand? This should be better." So he looked and he said, "For a moment I had an inner conflict. Well, this is a child, is telling me what to do." And I'm a man, I have knowledge. So he said, "I thought for myself, and shaitan was really pushing me to say, okay, go, there's no problem with holding the mushaf with the left hand." He said, "But I thought to myself, I would accept the advice, whoever it comes from, I will take it." What he's saying is the truth. Yes. He said, "Jazakallah khairan, my son, barakallahu feek," and he held the mushaf with his own hand, with the right hand. So you can see, if a person has no arrogance, inshallah there will be no differences. And sometimes, especially when it gets to arguments, let's say, for example, Abdul Rahman, I argue with you over something. You insist on your opinion, I insist on my opinion. At a moment, you realize the truth, that your opinion is not the right one. Okay. Maybe you find it hard to give up your opinion now, after people have been looking at us and we saw we were arguing. Now, why should I recant my opinion and accept your opinion? No. It's a bit hard. So, you see, arrogance sometimes it affects or it brings differences. Another reason, can you think of other reasons that will bring disagreement or difference of opinion among the brothers? What's the reason, for example, I ask you, that the imams, they had different opinions? Can you give me a reason?
Also about it's knowledge. There's a knowledgeable imam and the less knowledgeable imam, so he can be asked for a fatwa and gives a fatwa.
So refers us back to the first one.
Yeah. That's
okay. What about some other opinions? Sometimes the imams, they have the same hadith, the same verse, but they have two different opinions, and they are very well knowledgeable.
Maybe because they got raised in a different way.
People are different.
And people are different.
Very good.
Different personalities, maybe different country, different society.
That's it.
So little differences bring little differences.
Very good. So people will have different point of views.
Yes.
It's inevitable. It's human beings.
Yeah.
So
قبائل وشعوبا
وجعلناكم
شعوبا وقبائل في الأرض
لتتعارفوا وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا, so that you will know each other. And Allah created us different. Allah created us different. And this is from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so now we know the the main reasons for differences. But another main reason, if you see some people, they don't have an overall understanding of Islam. They learn something, and for example, they learn that okay, in a certain situation, they know that, for example, you have to the one who does something wrong, you have to give him advice. Okay, I'm with someone who has more knowledge than I do, and I know when you see someone doing something wrong, you have to give him advice. So I see the one who has more knowledge than me, he sees something wrong, but he doesn't give advice. So I say, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you. Why is this? You should give advice. But maybe he has more knowledge than me, and he sees a wisdom in not speaking, because maybe in speaking, he knows there will be greater fitna.
Exactly.
So when the person has an overall understanding of Islam, of the religion, then, and the person has less than that, he has maybe, he looks from one angle. This causes another difference of opinion.
And also sometimes because someone is used to something, for example, he's used that he never put the water and the drops of water on the sock when he's doing wudu, for example. And he sees someone who's doing it, or in a different way, even though it's acceptable by another imam, but because he's used, he'll tell you, no, this is wrong, even though it's right. This is another problem.
How do you think we can get out of losing our brotherhood for the sake of, we see that differences are inevitable. How can we, maintain our brotherhood despite the differences that we said are tolerated in Islam?
Well, I think it's like more for the scholars. You have to like clear out that there is differences in Islam and it has to be accepted. You have to clear this point.
These are the ones that are acceptable according to the Quran and the Sunnah, the differences.
Yes, so
what about us? We are individuals, normal individuals, average people, Muslims, let's say. How can we still maintain our brotherhood despite the differences? How can we deal with this issue? Abdul Rahman, what do you think?
I think we should like just be, and we take it, we accept the fact that there's differences. As simple as that.
Yeah, not the kind of differences that are not accepted.
If it's not big, if it's not like against Sunnah and Quran, we accept it. And if we're surprised, we could even ask. We don't attack. We ask, brother, why are you doing this different than the way I do it? Then he gives me, then I have a different approach.
Very good. Very good. So, subhanAllah, this is the same thing that all Muslims, can implement, which is good Islamic character.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a difference of opinion. There are scholars on each side. I accept that. You don't have to follow my own opinion. You follow the scholar that you trust. You trust him in terms of knowledge, in terms of honesty and sincerity, and you follow that. It's up to you. As long as you haven't reached the level of knowledge where you can extract the rulings from the Quran and the Sunnah directly. As long people like us, general people, we still have a long way ahead of us in order to attain more knowledge. Okay, I entrust a scholar who is known for his honesty, for his knowledge, and as long as this is acceptable within the people of Ahlul Sunnah, the scholars of Ahlul Sunnah, alhamdulillah, I take that. So we tolerate that.
And Sheikh, what about people that, I know some people, they have like a mixture, and they take from this scholar, for example, from Imam Maliki, from Imam Shafi'i, from...
as long as the person has knowledge himself, to take the knowledge from the Quran and the Sunnah, then he can take that. If he is not, then he should see a scholar that he trusts. This scholar has knowledge.
With him only.
Yeah, and take from him, and you should be learning more and more so that you will reach the stage where you can depend on yourself in terms of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But meanwhile, take a scholar that you trust from the people of Ahlul Sunnah, well known for his honesty, for his following the Sunnah and implementing it, and you follow his opinion as long as there is a proof.
Sure.
If you see that he clearly, opposes the proof from the Quran and the Sunnah, you're not allowed to follow him. This is why Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy upon him, he said to his students, you're not allowed to take our opinion unless you know where we took it from. You know the proof for that. And all the four Imams of the four schools of thought, they said the same. This is why their followers, they should do that, they should implement that. Whenever my saying opposes the Quran and the Sunnah, then abandon my opinion. That statement was reported from most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you come through an incident where you disagreed with a brother and you kept that brotherhood despite
Well,
the differences?
Yes, sure. But actually, it's like not practicing brothers. يعني they are Muslims, alhamdulillah, but not that practicing. They appear to go to do salah in a masjid that has a grave in it. And from what I know is that you can't go and do salah there. You can do the fard there.
Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, sometimes they agree with me that they go to a masjid that doesn't have a grave in it, and other times they slip by and go there.
Yeah, but you should keep telling them the truth about this issue, because
That's-
this difference,
is-
we can't tolerate that. It's
it's
against the Quran, against the Sunnah clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, to pray in a masjid where there is a grave.
And I believe, like we said, Sheikh, about the advice, but we say it in a nice way.
Yeah.
Because I know some brothers, they will attack.
No,
They'll be like this, you're not a believer.
Yeah.
Like this, they just attack, so they feel.
Yeah. So we maintain that brotherhood,
Yeah.
so that
Because-
you keep in touch with them.
Of
Inshallah,
course.
one day they will
Inshallah.
become
That's the
practicing
point. Keep in touch with them, and
Yeah, may Allah
inshallah,
help us really act that way towards our brothers. One incident happened with a Shafi'i, one of the people at his time, scholars. He said, may Allah have mercy upon a Shafi'i, how good his character was. He said, I disagreed with him on one issue, then he took my hand and he said to me, okay, despite the difference that we have, difference of opinion, can't we still remain two brothers who love one another for the sake of Allah? You see this beautiful example? Want to be like this, as long as the person, he wants the truth, he's looking for the truth, and he follows a scholar from the people of Ahl Sunnah, someone who's known for his honesty and who's following the Sunnah, then and this difference of opinion is tolerable within Islam, within the people of Ahl Sunnah, then we accept him upon that, and we still maintain this brotherhood, and we increase the love that we have. And you see that the Muslims today, okay, you disagree with me, they straight away, you are an innovator. You have a problem with your religion. And some people have this, especially I can say Muslims in the West, unfortunately, because they have no scholars to give them guidance. With any mistake you do, you are out.
Yes.
You are out. Okay, what do you think of that person? If you don't say he's deviant, then you are out of this religion. You are not from the people of Ahl Sunnah. This is not the attitude. Take it easy with the brothers. Take it easy, as long as the difference is tolerable within Islam, as long as it has nothing to do with Aqidah, the beliefs of the Muslim, and the things that are in the Quran and the Sunnah, then take it easy. Well, as we want to implement our religion and defend and protect it from something that is any wrong opinion or alien opinion, we are required in Islam to maintain this brotherhood. So it's part of the religion. Why do we deal with it as if it's something separate? No. We want to maintain this brotherhood and deal with differences in the way that is best. So inshallah we will be able to implement this beautiful etiquette to maintain that brotherhood despite the differences of opinion that are tolerable in Islam within the people of Ahl Sunnah. And I hope this episode has been beneficial for all of us and for our viewers. And I say to our guests first, Jazakumullah khairan for your contributions. And I say to our dear viewers, Jazakumullah khairan for listening, and may Allah bless us all and help us implement this beautiful etiquette. Jazakumullah khairan for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, before we go into the reasons behind differences and how to handle that, I would like to just to have a glimpse on what is the effect and of our own experience on the issue of difference. Definitely, you have come across people you are not in agreement with. How did you deal with that? How did you see that it affected the relationship or the brotherhood you had with them? Abdul Rahman, have you had some experience you would like to share with us about this?
Actually, I recall one of these days I was in the mosque in Canada, and I saw a brother. He was praying completely in a complete different way than
His messenger. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of your show, For the Sake of Allah. I am your host, Moutasem Hameedi. Today we have a very important subject in hand as well. Something that has to do with maintaining the relationship of brotherhood and enhancing it, improving it, despite our differences. So today, inshallah, we will talk about how to handle difference of opinion. People don't agree, people have different opinions, it's hard to get all the people to agree on one thing. So this is why it is important to know how to deal with different. I don't agree with you. A statement that sometimes breaks brotherhood. How to handle this situation, we will find shortly, so stay tuned. Differences of opinion. Brothers, we have today with us Brother Muhammad and Brother Abdul Rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
You understand the importance of this subject because it is one of the main reasons why the Muslims are living in a state of weakness today. The differences. They have split into different sects, and each one is declaring the other to be deviant or to be, some of them, they expel others out of Islam. So we want to know how to deal with this subject, with difference of opinion, how to handle that. And within that we maintain our brotherhood, the relationship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves and the evils of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide, and whomsoever Allah leaves to go astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, who has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His servant and